Hi, everybody. Connor Wade here with the Wildcat wrap-up, and starting now, maybe once or twice a week, we're going to start talking to some of the athletes from the Marion Wildcats, different sports, to kind of give everybody something to do. I know right now is kind of a tough time with everything going on, no school, no sports, and today we're actually going to talk to Josh Griffin from our baseball team. Some things I want to update on that happened since our last episode of the Wildcat wrap-up. We had the basketball regional against Heron. Marion came out on top 61-54. Big win, obviously, that Friday night in Wilson Gym. Jackson Connor broke the all-time scoring record. And then we went to the 3A sectional in Mount Vernon. We played East St. Louis on Tuesday, March 10th. East St. Louis got the best of us, 70-53. Jackson Connor did become a 2,000-point player. So the Wildcat season ends like that. Great season. Want to wish our four seniors, Jackson, Brett, Caven, and Frankie, all the best of luck as they move forward with their careers and whatever is in the future for them. So as always, our productions, our broadcast, our podcast are sponsored by Budgets for Benefit. If you are thinking maybe for next fall, you want to start thinking ahead and need a fundraiser for your sport that's coming up, Budgets for Benefit's a great way to go. They do laundry detergent fundraisers, can help any different kinds of sporting teams, organizations, band teams, whatever the case may be. So today we're going to talk to one of the seniors that's really being affected by this lockdown, if you will, caused by the coronavirus outbreak, the pandemic. Josh Griffin, you play shortstop. You've actually committed to Johnny Logan College for next year to be a volunteer. And Josh, welcome. My first question for you
Thank
is,
you. Be
when
here.
did you realize that this baseball season was in jeopardy, and what was that moment like for you, and how have you held up during the downtime?
It was really during spring break. We'd have practice every day at 9 a.m. And usually spring break is the kind of the week of the season that the team really gets close. And so it was pretty hard to hear the news on the last day of our break that we weren't going to get to play right away. We had a game the next Tuesday. We were ready to go. We were fired up.
You
That was
mentioned,
the hardest part.
yeah, you mentioned you'd been through tryouts, open gyms, and practices. How are you feeling about the season, and what part of it were you most looking forward to?
I was looking forward to being with the guys. Every year it's a new team. It feels like a new family. And I felt like this one was going to be special. Hopefully, we can still play together, but I felt like this group of guys was really going to come close with each other, and we were going to have a lot of fun.
So how optimistic have you been able to remain during this time that, baseball season, right now I think the date is April 30th. That's when this school lockdown is going to end. How optimistic are you that, baseball season is going to happen eventually?
Whether this baseball season happens or not, most of us are going to get to play a baseball game again, and that's the good thing. That's a bright side. Um, we've all been staying healthy, trying to stay healthy, stay on our grind, but uh, this season isn't looking good. But the good news is that almost all of our guys either know where they're going to play next year or have some opportunities.
You
So
know, that,
everything's going to be okay.
you touched on it there briefly, and that was another question I had. What have you done during this time to stay sharp so that, if the season does pick back up in May, or, you're going to be playing in college, what have you done to stay sharp and make sure that, whenever you do play again, you don't go 0 for 20 in your first 5 games?
Yeah, for sure. A lot of home workouts, a lot of push-ups, pull-ups, and just hitting off the tee. Um, that's the beautiful thing about baseball. You don't have to have much. You can get better with few things.
So what have you done non-baseball related to kind of kill this downtime?
We have had a lot of downtime, a lot of time with friends, even though we're not supposed to. But we've been getting together. The team's actually been good about staying together. We've been going to eat some places. Not now, obviously, but
Mm-hmm.
um, just trying to stay with each other as much as we can.
Talk a little bit about playing at John A. Logan next year. John A. Logan Volunteer Baseball is one of the best community college baseball programs really in the nation, I believe. What are you most looking
Yep.
forward to about being a volunteer?
I'm excited, man. it felt like it was the best place to go for me to get better, and uh, I just can't wait to get on campus and get after it. There are a lot of guys. Things are kind of starting to get started with the team next year. We've been applying for school and everything, and I'm getting really excited for it.
That's great. So does knowing, and you kind of talked about this too, does knowing that you are going to play baseball again, you're going to be playing in college. How much comfort does that offer you at this point?
It gives me comfort, but it also makes me feel bad for the guys that don't know where they're going yet, because this season was going to be a big season for a lot of our seniors that don't know where they're going. It's hard to not think about them.
Let's talk MLB a little bit. Um,
Sure.
Shortstop right now in MLB is loaded. When you talk
Oh, it
about
is.
Correa, Lindor, Javi Baez, Paul
Yeah.
DeYoung, Fernando Tatis Jr., have you looked at any shortstops, or maybe they play another position, but what MLB players have you kind of looked at to take something that they do and emulate it into your game, either at the plate or defensively?
Definitely, that's always part of it. And my whole baseball career, I've kind of always looked up to Derek Jeter, even though he's not
Absolutely.
playing anymore. He's, a great role model. And a player I like to watch now is Fernando Tatis Jr. Just
Absolutely.
the electricity he plays with is awesome. I try to put that in my game too.
I'm sure, like me and a lot of other baseball fans, you're definitely missing out on MLB season two, which is
Yeah.
affected by this. Um, Talk about maybe some predictions for this year. What's going to happen when MLB does go back to playing? Maybe some MVP and Cy Young Award predictions for both the AL and NL.
Ooh, some MVPs. I think Pete Alonso is going to have a big season in the NL. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. And in the AL, Aaron Judge kind of had some injuries last year. I think it's going to be Pete Alonso and Aaron Judge again. They're going to steal the
And
show
Judge
this
will
year.
beat out Trout.
I think he will this year. Trout's going to have Rendon with him over in LA, but they're going to be good too. There's a lot of talent in the league now, obviously, but
So I don't know if you play a lot of fantasy baseball, but I do. I like it almost as much as fantasy football. I've never got the number one overall pick. As my dog walks into the picture. Never got the number one overall pick. I've had number two. But if I did it this year, I think you have four logical candidates of Trout, Bellinger, Yelich, and Acuna. And I think the last probably 8 years or whatever, Trout's been like the obvious number one overall pick for fantasy baseball. I say this year, if I did it, I'm going Ronald Acuna Jr. all the way. What
ooh,
about you?
really, I'm going Trout. Trout's the best player to
Hard.
ever play the game, in my opinion.
I still think Trout is the best all-around player in the league, but I feel like Acuna, I mean, he was almost a 40-40 guy last year. I don't know who the last
He
40-40
was.
was
He's special.
in the MLB. So I think I would pick Acuna. How many MLB games
It's
have
been a
you
while.
been, yeah, how many MLB games have you been to in person? What's your most memorable one?
Ooh, I've been to quite a few. My dad has always he loves going to the games, so he takes me over there a lot. But my favorite park I've ever been to is SunTrust, the Braves' new
Uh,
stadium. I went last summer and watched the Dodgers play the Braves.
So
The
my most
Dodgers are my team.
Okay, I'm a Cardinals fan, so my most memorable moment, obviously Busch is my favorite stadium, but my most memorable
Yeah.
game was I went to Game 3 of the Angels series last year. Saw Pujols' last
Oh,
game in the stadium
Pujols.
he
Yeah.
built, and giving him an ovation every time he came up to the plate, and just seeing him and him waving to the crowd, and just the energy in the stadium, and even the day before when he homered. And I promise you, you're not going to see a lot of times when an opposing player is going to get a curtain call after hitting a home
No.
run at Busch Stadium. But that whole
No.
weekend,
Cardinal fans are special in that respect for
absolutely.
sure.
And so very glad I got to see Albert play. So I think that does it with MLB. Mr. Judisti, because he always likes to talk about this on our show, and I'm sure all the students are having a heyday with Netflix right now. What are you binge watching during this time?
I started watching Mad Men. Um,
Yeah.
it's kind of a boring show, not really what you expect to hear from a teenager, but
Okay.
I like it.
What about this Tiger King thing? Like,
Tiger King, I haven't watched it.
I
I
haven't.
haven't watched it.
I'm going to though, and I'm pretty looking forward to it. So, did this lady feed her husband to the Tigers or not? What do you say?
See,
Just
I don't.
you know.
Uh, I have no clue, man.
I I don't
It
even.
sounds like we need to watch it because everybody's always on Twitter talking about it. I need to
Yeah, those
watch
are
it.
like the two major topics in our world right now are the
Or
coronavirus
they're kind of,
and Tiger King. But I'm gonna watch it,
yeah.
and you do too. We'll figure it out. But talk a little bit about you look back on the last 3 years, your freshman, sophomore, and junior seasons. A regional championship last year, I do believe, and I'm not 100% sure what Marion baseball did the previous 2 seasons. What do you take about your career in MHS baseball so far? How do you take that, and what do you take from it going forward?
Um, the Marion baseball program has always treated me amazing. The coaches and everything. The last 3 years I've been a part of the team, we've had 20 wins in every single season. Uh, right up there with the conference championships all 3 years. Um, regional champions last year. It's been really special. My freshman year I got to play with my brother. That was really cool. I had a lot of good seniors to look up to, and that's something I was looking forward to this year, is being that guy that freshmen and sophomores can look up to. Um, so I hope I get a chance to still be that guy for some people.
Talk about a point in your career, maybe it's in high school or maybe it was going into high school, where you were struggling. What kind of adjustment did you have to make, and how did you make that adjustment to get better
Yes.
at the plate or defensively?
So sophomore year I had some trouble. I was coming off a freshman season where I had a pretty solid freshman season, first team all conference, and had a lot of confidence. And then sophomore year didn't really play out how I wanted it to. And the time between my sophomore and junior year, I really had to step back, almost away from baseball, and you know, put my focus back and really just let things play out instead of trying to force everything. And it really showed in my junior campaign, I think, and I was really excited about improving on that one too.
All righty. Well, Josh, thank you so much for joining us today. I want you to stay online here for a minute, and I will wrap this thing up and then stop recording. But thank you so much for talking to us, and best of luck to you. If baseball season continues this year, I sure hope it does for your sake and a lot of others' sake too. But best of luck to you in college as well with John A.
Appreciate it, Connor.
So thank you so much for watching. This video is going to be posted on our brand new YouTube channel for the Wildcat Wrap-Up. Go and subscribe to it. Can turn on notifications too. Probably going to start doing these 2 or 3 times a week to kill some time during the downtime. As of now, I think school's supposed to go back May 1st. We'll see how it plays out. I sure hope it does. Miss doing the Wildcat Wrap-Up every week, but make sure you're liking and following us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all our social platforms. You can go back and listen to previous episodes of the Wildcat Wrap-Up on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and there's somewhere down the line on our social media pages as well. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Buckets for Benefit for everything they do for the Wildcat Wrap-Up, and we will see you in our next episode.